So my definition of leadership, of course, would be servanthood. I feel like as leaders, we are to serve. We're to serve those that we work beside. We're to serve those, we work for. We're to serve those who, work for us. So for me, leadership is definitely servanthood. It's thinking about the betterment of a people. How we can make those around us better all the way around. Even if we're working, as a cashier, like I would say when I was at Captain D's years and years ago, even as a cashier, cleaning bathrooms, scrubbing baseboards, I never thought about myself, oh, I got to scrub, these toilets, or, I thought about the people, people got to come and sit down and use the toilet, people got to come into the restaurant and really want to be here, so I got to scrub these baseboards, and of course in those positions when we are doing things that we don't want to do all the time and we're thinking about other people, it shows, that true leadership in us. So of course my definition of leadership would definitely be servanthood. When it comes to my leadership being formed, I would say starting back when I was a little girl, being at Augusta Christian, really having the foundation put into me of who Christ was, him coming to serve himself for us, so that was the starting of my leadership being formed. And then, of course, my mother and father, showing me the examples of really being workers that go out there and work hard at what they do. They showed me, they exemplified leadership through what they did, so that's definitely how it formed for me, starting with those three, Christ and then my mother and father. And then, of course, over time, it has changed. I started out in leadership as an individual, say working as a cashier. Then I moved up to management. So, opportunities begin to open up for me, being a leader in minute things. So, yes, that's leadership for me. Okay, so the leadership style for me, of course, would be doing it first. So I'm a doing it first type of leader. I feel like sometimes, people get in leadership positions and they don't really understand the work that comes with it. So, they're more speaking to a person like, hey, do this, do that, and you really don't know what comes along with it. So for me, I'm definitely one of those do it first type of leaders. The leadership style is definitely doing it first. And of course, leading others and being the example. I'm a leader even, as an owner of a company. I feel like me as an owner, I go down and I show my people how it should be done, because I want them to get into a place of walking as a leader would. Don't just think about, you working for me, but you think about once you get to a place where you own your own, so just really showing them by example what it is to do, even at a position of ownership, as a manager, just really being able to humble yourself and get down and, show others how it's supposed to be done. Woo! So I got a lot of those. So of course, first and foremost, Christ. He's the ultimate leader for me. I think a lot of times when people, read the Bible and find out, about church, not religion, it's more of, this is, a supreme being that's just so holy and, but they really don't get to know the character of him, and so really, he was that for me, that first mentor, that first teacher, and as continues to go, he continues to show me more and more of what leadership truly is, and then of course my mother and father, they were of course great mentors for me, watching them in their lives, but my dad, he used to be a hustler back in the day. He used to slang that work, and he was great at that. He did it, But now, of course, him turning his life over and really getting into who he is. Now he's down in Miami on top of buildings, putting HVAC systems on, So of course that's he exemplified, for me, really being that example. Oh, it's so many. I have like Les Brown, like TD Jakes, like Pastor Michael Todd, like it's so many. Even my pastors, I got a pastor down in Miami, Living Word Christian Center in Hollywood, Florida, actually exemplified love. He was one of those that agape love. He spoke so much on really loving people unconditionally. My pastor here, Pastor Carlos Key at United Voices of Outreach Ministries, really perseverance. I've learned so much from so many people, so many books, so many writers. I, I'm one of those that love seeking out knowledge. I love finding out information. And so I've learned from a lot of people, a lot of people. And it's continuing to grow. I'm learning so much from you as well, and really stepping out and, being able to get my voice out there. Like listen, it's so many. If I forgot somebody, y'all don't hold it against me. It's so many people. Oh my God. Hearing the joy from those who I've gave information, who I've shared with, who've worked beside me, really tell me how much they appreciate me. How much they appreciate the help that I gave, or the knowledge they've received, or the book I've shared, or just really being able to get those impactful results, like hey, you really helped me with this. Those things for me really gives me that, oh my God, I'm really doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because it's just not me, but I'm really what does the Bible say? Be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. I'm really doing that. I'm being fruitful by my life. Seeds are being planted. Of course, replenishing is happening. So that for me is definitely the joy, having those testimonies like, hey, you helped me. Woo! So, so one I'm still kind of working on. I'm gonna give you two, right? So one I'm still kind of working on. So for me, because I'm that type of leader that does it first. When I work, I work. I'm not, one of those workers. When I work, I'm on my phone. Like, I'm in the moment. So when I have those working beside me or working for me, and they're not putting their all into it, it frustrates me. So sometimes I can snap. Like, I had one of my coworkers with me one time, and I was in a management position in property management, and the maintenance guy, like, was not doing what he was supposed to be doing. And when I say he came in the office and I lit him up, I lit him up. And I had to go back after I calmed down. I had to text him, and I had to apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry. But you got to think, when it comes to property management, you're not just doing a job, but you have lives that's in the places you're managing. So it really frustrated me that he didn't really take the time to understand how important it was for him to get done what he needed to get done. So I kind of snapped real quick. So I'm still working on that, because I'll still, but I see myself. I apologize, and so I'm getting better. Another one for me is, really being out there, putting myself out there. For me, I've always been that kind of in the shell to myself type of person. I don't like drama. I don't like mess. I just don't. So I've kind of been, a little my shell. But now, of course, I'm coming out of that. I've started doing little things like even this podcast, to really, allow people to see me. I don't care what they got to say. I don't care what they might post, or Joniece thinks she did. No, Joniece know who she is. So I really have came into being okay with allowing people to see who I truly am, and not being worried about what they think. Yeah. I would say show up. Show up in every moment in the fullness. It doesn't matter if you're doing something you don't want to do at the time, or you feel like you should be in a higher position, or, you know, be you, put your whole self into what you're doing. And then, of course, everything will open up to you the way it needs to. A lot of times I think, we do things that, don't make us happy. And so we don't give fully to it, but we have to realize, when we think about God and we think about the universe and how things work, if you're not putting your fullness into it, you're not going to reap the benefits of it. So really being intentional and bringing your whole self to whatever it is, whether it be relationship, whether it be friendship, whether it be work, bring your whole self to it. And then, of course, you'll see the fruit start coming forth from what you've planted.